Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Give it a second here. Gotta make sure my live is up. Yeah. I think we are live. Hold on 1 minuto. Let's get rid of this. Go back. I gotta get the chat up so I can see what you all are saying, which is nothing right now. All right, give me a second here. Should be live. Hold on. Get out of YouTube, back into it. That's what you do when you're having issues. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? All right, hang on. There we go. There's the beautiful chat. Let me give myself a thumbs up. Wait for a couple people to get on in, jump on in, whatever. And we will start. We're going to continue a discussion here. Heck. What's up, Johnny Bravo? Thanks for being in here, buddy. Appreciate you. Alfredo Gonzalez, welcome. Nice to have you here as well. Let's wait for a few more people, and then we'll get started. Lots to talk about. There's lots to talk about. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button on your way in, y'all. What's up, good citizen? Nice to have you here. Cinderella, good to have you here as always. Looking for two more people. Let's get two more people in here, and then we'll hit that intro music, and we'll get started on a further discussion on the Venezuelan gang crisis. True North, welcome. Nice to have you here. There's no crisis, by the way. Mick T, you sure they're Venezuelan and not angry librarians? Well, we're going to discuss in just a moment, Mick T. Welcome, everybody, to another special edition of the MLH Show. I, of course, am MLH. Johnny Bravo, welcome. Alfredo Gonzalez, Good Citizen Media, Cinderella, True North, Mick T, Richard Phillips, Dad Ant, welcome. Nice to have you here as well, sir. We're continuing a discussion. Bushfire Blonde, thank you for being in here, and thank you for being a member of the channel. I do appreciate that. It helps me bring you stories like what I'm going to bring for you guys today. Because if you guys remember, we left Still Sassy. Welcome. Nice to have you here. My back is killing me, Still Sassy, but I'm here. And I'm doing a live follow-up. So if you remember when we last discussed this topic of the Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora. Ooh, scary, right? I had some questions, and I had some answers for you guys. Flea Factory, welcome. Nice to have you here. Good day to you. Good day to Bushfire Blonde. I love that name. Is it really Bushfire Blonde? Anyways, so like I said, where I left you guys off with was there was a lot of misinformation going around about these Venezuelan gangs taking over entire complexes, right? Which was ludicrous on its ears. And it caught fire, right? Fox News picked it up. All the conservative media picked it up because they have some sort of kind of weird I guess prejudice against people of color, whether you're brown, black, Indian, whatever. But the funny thing about it is it caught national attention, right? So everybody picked up on it, and it became this huge national story, and it's still ongoing. Like the fire is still there. Speaking of fire, um, redhead. I love redheads. Bushfire blonde. That's pretty awesome. Um, Bernie's got red hair. Well, she dyes it red, and it's awesome. I love. That's my favorite. So, anyways, uh, so I basically dispelled a lot of the myths, right? And I had been at that complex before a few times in my travels in Aurora. You guys know I'm boots on the ground when it comes to the Denver metro area. Aurora being one of my prime places to cop watch and do audits and to patrol and to do other things, right? The Aurora Police Department is definitely one of the worst in the nation. I would put them top three. I think you can interchange them. You got Mesa, Arizona, you got LAPD in California, and you have Aurora. And I interchange those quite frequently with all the depravity that I see when I uh, am I out and about and I hear things from various sources and I see things on the shitty lamestream media, which we'll touch on that a little bit. So what I decided to do, well, KDOT and I decided to do, was to actually get out and find out what the hell really was going on by visiting there, right? So the next day, after I did that live, KDOT and I went to the actual complex, and we actually talked to the people over there. And come to find out, there's quite a few things going on. But what I want to do first is I want to show you a media clip from local news here about the police and the mayor kind of contradicting themselves, which, shocker, right? Aurora is contradicting the mayor, and the mayor is contradicting. I mean, Mayor Kaufman sucks. I've chronicled that several times on this channel. He's one of the worst. He was a failed congressman. He's a failed mayor. I mean, how do you go from Congress to a mayor of not even the main city in Colorado, like the third biggest city in Colorado? Like it's a big fall from grace in itself, right? So let's well, let me get to these comments first. Fleet Factory says, I suspect the Aurora Popo started that rumor to justify their unfettered brutality, especially with all the heat they're taking for Kylan. The rumor just took on a life of its own. It's a possibility, Fleet Factory, but actually the rumor started from the mayor himself, the piece of shit Mike Kaufman. Blue Unicorn, welcome. Joe Cool, welcome to you. What's your opinion on the gangs taking over shit? Never mind. Sounds like you're about to tell us. Yes, I'm going to tell you, Joe. If you saw my previous live on this subject, you would know it's all horseshit, Joe. It's all horseshit. It's all horseshit. The city council sucks too. That's 100% still sassy. We'll talk about them maybe. We'll touch on them a little bit. But let's take a look at this report of the city of Aurora contradicting itself on the Venezuelan gang activity.
The city of Aurora.
Can you hear that? Let me know if you can hear that. Did you hear the city of Aurora right there? I need to make sure that you guys can hear that before I play it. I don't want to play the whole thing and then minute and a half of silence. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Here we go. Thank you, Still Sassy.
The city of Aurora is contradicting itself on the extent of Venezuelan gang activity in that city. The mayor told Fox News this week the gang is collecting rent at a troubled apartment complex. The interim police chief, in a video press release, says that's not happening.
It's that intimidation factor. We've got Venezuelan gang members who have gone into an apartment complex where there's a concentration of Venezuelans and pushed out the property management through intimidation, and now they're intimidating the tenants there to pay them the rent and probably extort other things from them.
Everything that mayor just said is horseshit. I'll talk about it after.
I'm not saying that there's not gang members that don't live in this community, but what we're learning out here is that gang members have not taken over this complex. We've really made an effort the last few days to just really ask the specific questions or the direct questions in terms of the gang activity and who's actually making sure that people aren't paying rent to gang leaders or gang members, that's not happening. And we've discovered here today and yesterday talking to so many residents that that's not the case.
So we don't generally air video news releases from police departments and cities for ethical reasons. We weren't there to shoot that video ourselves or ask Chief Morris any questions. But her comments in that video directly contradict what Mayor Kaufman said and add further confusion in a week when the city's public statements on Venezuelan gang activity hasn't always lined up. Mayor Kaufman has said contradictory things in interviews just hours apart. Yeah. The city's trying to get a court order to clear out 2 or 3 apartment buildings to combat gang activity. They're planning to declare the properties a, quote, criminal nuisance.
Okay.
The city of Aurora.
Did you hear that? That's the really, okay. So there's a lot at play here. Let me go back to this video. I want to point out something. The real story, hold on. Let me get it to the point where I can show you guys. Okay. This is a good place to show you guys something here. Let me get my mouse out of the way here. Let that stuff kind of get away. But I don't know if you noticed.
And
dang it. I messed up. Okay. Right here. Why won't it? Here, let's just full screen it. You see to the bottom right? The bottom right? God, my mic is fucking up. Okay. See to the bottom right there? There's all kinds of trash there, right? All right. So that's relevant to this story, all right? And it's relevant because there actually is a story here, y'all. There's a story here, but it has nothing to do with gangs, right? Was that video that they showed scary of all those guys coming in with guns and all that? That was an isolated incident. Had nothing to do, probably did not have anything to do with gang activity. It was just a bunch of guys with guns, and it was scary. I understand. There was a lot going on there, right? But the real story is the fact that these buildings here that you see there with the trash in the corner, right? See all that trash in the corner? These buildings are managed underneath a slumlord. Okay, that's the real story. That was the story. I don't know if you guys saw the video of me where I was there at another building not too far from this one where they were evicting 50 families, all right? It's the same management company as this. I'm not necessarily saying the management company is at fault. But I am saying the owners are slumlords. And it's evident because KDOT and I went down there. Sorry, I'm getting texts at the same time. I get texts at all hours of the day and night for various things going on in the city and otherwise. But the real story is the slumlords and the Aurora Police Department. The real gangs that are taking over these places is Aurora themselves, the government. The government and the police, which is the biggest gang in all of the United States, is taking over these buildings. Not Venezuela. They got part of the story right. There are gangs taking over these buildings, but it's the police that's taking over these buildings. They did it over at the other place that I was at that's not too far from here. They're going to do it with these buildings. And I'm not saying that these buildings shouldn't be condemned, because they should. They absolutely should. The conditions are horrid. KDOT took a bunch of pictures that I'll have him send me, and I can show you guys on my community page when I get them. I meant to do that, and I just kept forgetting. Hold on, I got a text. Jeez. Hold on. You gotta love it. I'm always working, y'all. All right. So basically, I think they did get part of this right. There is a gang taking over this, and it's the police, right? And there are code violations. I mean, KDOT and I both saw it firsthand. We talked to the people there. The real story is the slumlords, right? The slumlords, right, are charging these people. I'll give you the amount that they're paying after I tell you what the conditions these people are living under. There are rats in these buildings, which there's not very many places in Denver that or in Aurora, in the Denver metro area, that has actual rats. This is one of them, okay, according to some of the residents. The big issue that these residents are having are not only pest problems, but there's ceilings that are caving in. There are all kinds of electrical issues. There's open electric that KDOT and I witnessed. The floors are in bad shape. They're not carpeted right. I mean, there's just a plethora of things wrong with these apartments, right? But the big thing that the one person living here that I had the privilege of, and she was a lovely woman. I believe she was Venezuelan, but I'll get to that in a minute. Said that they're not paying their trash bill. So the residents literally don't know what to do with their trash. Therefore, the buildup in the back there. So there is a slumlord thing going on here. That's the big story. The other story is the city wants these properties super bad. Super bad, because I know what they want to do. They want to demolish these buildings. They want to sell the land to the highest bidder, and that highest bidder will build high-end units and rent them off for more money, right? That's the plan that Denver did or does. They do it under the guise of, we want to make these livable for homeless people and house homeless people, and then it never happens. Never happened in Denver. It's not going to happen here in Aurora. I know how it goes. This is part of the gentrification of different neighborhoods. Now, I'm not saying these buildings shouldn't be demolished and redone, but, I mean, really? I mean, come on. All right, what do we got in chat? I heard the Avengers, the Power Rangers, and Hell's Angels are on the way to clean up the scary gang. Let me address that, too. That's horseshit, too. Joe Cool. I knew you knew. You know it's bullshit, too. Hell's Angels aren't on their way. There aren't gangs, shootings in the back alleys here. I talked to a lot of these people here, and these people are sane. They're rational. They're good people. All they want to do is live, right? Some of them are immigrants. Some of them are legal. Some of them, I hate the term illegal, but when I talked to this lady, I asked her, I said, is there a big concentration of Venezuelan people here? And she said, no. She said, there are a few, but it's diverse. There are black people here. There's Jamaicans. There's Mexicans here. There's white people. There's all different manners of race that live here in these apartments. So that's another misconception. You know what broke my heart when I drove up to this place? There were a few white balloons, all right, that were put up everywhere on the gates, at the entrance gates to each of these apartments. Can't really see it here, but if you look real closely in the middle, do I still have it up? Yeah, okay. If you look real closely in the middle, you can see the gates right where my mouse is, if you see my mouse. Where the white cars are, straight ahead, there's a bunch of like metal kind of gate things there. There were a bunch of white balloons with white signs. Now, if anybody knows anything about the color white, it's kind of a show of like raising the white flag, like we give up type thing. And it was heartbreaking because the sign said, and KDOT's got pictures of these two that I'll show you too, but one of them says, we just want to live. The other one said, not everything in the news is true. And then the other sign said, this is management's fault. So these people are doing the best they can. You know how much they're paying rent for these shitty 1-bedroom apartments? $1,200. $1,200, and they pleaded with the management company and the owners to fix things like the electricity. You could see a lot of the air conditioning units were out of order. The no screens on any window at all. So there were all kinds of problems. The big problems that they were worried about was the trash. How do you not pay your goddamn trash bill to pick up the trash? It's ridiculous. It's totally and utterly unacceptable. Let's see. What do we got here? Let me go back here. Strange that so many people are running with the story without the information. That's why the place has rats. Probably because the trash accumulation in the back, right, Gimmickless? You're absolutely 100% correct. These people didn't seem dirty. I looked inside some of these places. Some of them looked really nice, as far as like cleanliness, but there were issues like caving in ceilings in one apartment. There were railings that were fucked up. There's definite code violations here. So these people are being wrongly accused of being gang members, right? Venezuelan gang members. And the Hells Angels are on their way to save the day, which, by the way, if you're happy with another gang coming in to take care of a gang problem, that's a problem in itself, right? We want more gang activity there. That's just a really warped thing to think about, All right, let's get caught up on the chats here. Bushfire Blonde says, "Is there a housing shortage in America like in Australia?" Absolutely not. Social housing, low income. There is a shortage of low income housing. Bushfire Blonde, that is true. Ramona says, "Hey, I was just there with Hand and East Colfax Collective. The residents did say that there are gangsters, by the way. I'm sure there are. Like the police chief said, Ramona, but they're not being intimidated by them. They're just intimidating on their own. Years and years waiting list. Yep, that's true, Still Sassy. Ginger catching up 1.5. Hello. Please show up. We're still out here. I'm actually on a live right now, Ramona. Otherwise, I would go check you out. I'm reading your comments. I don't see a housing shortage here in California. Yeah, there's no real housing shortage. In Australia, they say they need to build a few houses every 6 minutes to try and house everyone. Ramona says it's more than $1,200. Well, the resident there said it cost $1,200. I don't know. I don't know for sure without seeing a bill, Ramona. But if you're hearing that, then let's see. Rent seekers are the lowest form of life. Gimmickless says, "How many bedrooms for 1 bedroom? $1,200. What's a rent seeker?" Bushfire Blonde says, "Don't spam the chat, Aesop's Fable. How much gang activity is tolerable if the situation is being exaggerated?" I don't like any gang activity, Aesop's Fables. So, thank you for deleting those messages, whoever deleted them. Yeah, no spamming. No spamming the chat. Rent someone that does nothing but seek rent. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like the government. Yeah. Someone that does no work but exploit the needs of their fellow man. That's a rent seeker. Okay, thanks for the clarification. I'm hearing residents say $1,400 to $2,000. That's even more nefarious, Ramona. That's even more ridiculous. $1,400 to $1,200. Maybe certain people have certain deals. I don't know, Ramona. That could be, but that's absolutely ridiculous. You can get a decent sized 2-bedroom apartment for $1,400 in Aurora. But a lot of those people probably were in a situation where they didn't really do credit checks and shit like that, right? So that's what I'm guessing why that's why those prices are popping up. Plus the slumlords over there are ridiculous. So the information is all wrong, right? The information is absolutely unequivocally wrong that's been going out in the media, and mostly, I'm neither Democrat or Republican, so I don't want anybody to think that I'm picking on the Republican side of things, the conservative side of things. But it seems like a lot of the conservative outlets kind of picked up with this story and ran with it, right? Which I take exception to. But the other thing that I take even more exception to is the fucking mayor, right? The mayor is the problem, all right? The mayor and the police, they're the issue, right? And the slumlords. So I'm guessing, and I'm going to do further investigation on this, right? I got a copy of, I got a picture of the management company. I'm going to find out who owns these buildings, and I'm going to find out what the deal is, if they contributed to Mike Kaufman's mayoral campaign, because I think there's a connection there. Always follow the money, right? Follow the money in these things. And Mayor Kaufman, if you're if you're listening, which I'm sure word will get back with you, I will find out, because those are all disclosed in your campaign finances, sir. So I will find out that information. Who is donating to you, how much they're donating, which is a problem in itself that I've chronicled here on the channel several times. Okay. I'm here in residence. Let's see. That's California prices. It's awful, Ramona says. Denver Metro is not a cheap place to live. That is true. Western Massachusetts, $1,200 for a room. King Bluto, welcome. Nice to have you here. A studio apartment in Loveland is between $900 and $1,200 a month. Yep, that's true. Guess what we should say is that there's a shortage of affordable housing. If you have money, there's plenty of houses. That's true. I saw that those buildings were recently sold to a new management company, and they let the buildings fall to poo. I bet it's BlackRock. Not 100% sure, Blue Unicorn, but I will find out. And like I said, I'm going to follow the money. And that you'll usually find the answers in the money, right? I guarantee that Aurora is going to raise those buildings and sell off the land to the highest bidder, and the highest bidder, if I can speak, is going to build apartments that are more expensive, and I'm sure there's a kickback. I'm sure there's a connection to the police and or Mike Kaufman. I'm guessing Mike Kaufman in this case because of the way that he spoke. And you know what else I think? And someone else brought this up to me. I don't want to give that person credit unless they want me to give them credit. But they brought up the fact that they think it's a distraction to distract away from the Kylan Lewis case that's going on in Aurora. And I would venture to say that that's a very good observation. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I can follow the breadcrumbs there too. So I'm sure we're going to have another discussion on this. There'll be probably a part 3, but part 2 of it is these people are fairly good people. I talk to most of them. They just want to live. They want their trash taken out, which who doesn't want their trash taken out? I mean, shit, if you're paying anywhere between $1,200 and $2,000 a month for an apartment, don't you think that trash pickup should be part of the deal? I mean, I would think for that type of money that there would be a pool, a fitness center, something to attract you to live there. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. All roads lead to BlackRock. Yeah, it could be. One way to sell rental property without having to compensate lessees is to have it condemned. Then everyone has to go and the owner can sell it 100%. Alwernot says BlackRock has been buying as many mortgages as they can for a while now. Yep. Great investigative reporting, MLH. Thank you very much, Gimmickless. Like I said, I think this channel is a unique channel in that aspect. I do a lot of things on this channel, and one of the big things I do is investigative reporting, and I will be trying to do some follow-ups and following the leads as they take me. I mean, I'm only one person, and if you count K-Dot, 2 people, it's a lot of work to take on, but we do these things from time to time. Thank you for that, Gimmickless. It's comments like that keep me doing what I'm doing, that and a little bit of money, obviously. Blue Unicorn says, I bet you're right. Denver back in the 90s condemned a whole neighborhood under eminent domain, and now there's a super Walmart there. Yep. Amenities. That's right. still sassy. Don't you think there should be at least a few amenities? I mean, I would think maybe a hot tub, a pool, small pool that the kids can have fun in summer, something. At least a fitness center, right? That would be something. BlackRock owns 1 to 5 properties in Las Vegas. Yeah, they're horrible. MLH, what did they do with the old Aurora Airport? You mean the old Denver Airport, Stapleton? They built houses and apartment complexes and other various businesses there, Dad Ant. It's the old, if you look on the map, it's where Stapleton Airport used to be. That's where all the, there's a lot of new housing, high-end housing there. It's really pretty. I like those neighborhoods, Dad Ant. It actually is a really nice neighborhood. Really expensive, but really nice. So hope that answers your questions there. They used to do Mile High Flea Market there. Yes, I remember that, Blue Unicorn. Yeah. But yeah, they took all of that Stapleton International Airport land, which you can still see on a map, and they made it all into high-end housing, some luxury apartments, a lot of businesses, like little restaurants here and there. You got your normal like Taco Bells and Pizza Huts and stuff like that, but like Jamba Juice and little strip mall type things are in there. So hey, Carrie Ann, nice to have you here. Hope you're well. I'm doing okay, Carrie Ann. My back is killing me, but other than that, that was a lot of growth for the Aurora area. Actually, that's East Denver, Dad Ant. The growth in Aurora is actually east of Aurora. They're building a lot of high-end housing out there. That's where the growth in Aurora is. Aurora is I hesitate to say it's a suburb of Denver, but Denver kind of dwarfs Aurora, even though Aurora is the third largest city in all of Colorado. But when I say Denver metro area, it encompasses places like Aurora, Thornton, North Glen, Westminster in the north end, Wheat Ridge, Lakewood, Golden in the west end, Aurora in the east, Centennial and Lone Tree and other little suburbs in the south. So the Denver metro area is huge. I can't explain it in terms that most people would understand, but if you live here, you kind of know it's basically one big city. I mean, that's the best way that I can put it. Denver, if you count Denver just proper, it's not that big, but if you count the Denver metro area, which does include Aurora and all those other cities that I've mentioned, plus way more, there's a lot of people here. A lot of people. Thank you for reporting on the situation in Aurora. It has a lot of people confused. It really does, Dad Ant. And I knew it was bullshit from the beginning because you guys know I'm boots on the ground there. I see and hear almost everything that goes on in Aurora. So when I heard this story, I was literally confused too. I'm like, what gangs? Where? I got to investigate this. And, KDOT made a good point. If there really was a gang takeover of an apartment complex, which those things do happen, I want to make it very clear. In other cities, there have been entire complexes that have been taken over by gangs, right? And there's not a thing that really the police can do because there's too much firepower there, right? They'll have gang members at the gates with big-ass guns. I mean, it does happen. It's happened before on the East Coast for sure. So I'm not saying things like that don't happen, but it's definitely not happening in Aurora. And this stemmed from the Pinocchio mayor of ours, Mike Kaufman, whose nose is about as long as, the eye can see. And he lies over and over. You guys have seen KDOT skewer him, and even I skewered him in the city council meetings. And if not for the Kylan Lewis situation going on, I would probably sign up to talk to him about these, quote, Venezuelan gangs that are, and this perpetrates a big lie that turns into other things like racism, right? Things like this cause people to think things that it simply aren't true, and then they have misconceptions. Oh, all the Venezuelan people here are gang members, and they're out to get you and kill you and rape you and other type things. You know, it's nefarious what the mayor did, and I am highly upset that the mayor would even come out with that type of statement and scare the people of Aurora. Right? There's enough scary things in Aurora to be afraid of, i.e. the out-of-control police force, right? Those are things that are scary, and they should be scary to the people of Aurora. And I've chronicled this over and over, you know, all the bullshit that goes on in Aurora, right? Like I said, it's probably top 3. I would put it as the most corrupt, because it's super corrupt, right? There's a reason why Chief Morris doesn't want to take the position full-time. And she's stepping down, and there's going to be a new chief, right? And his name is, I think his name is Todd Chamberlain. And boy, oh boy, welcome to the frying pan, Mr. Chamberlain, because we're going to meet with you. We're going to see what you have to say. But I guarantee it's probably going to be all for naught, because I have a feeling you're just one of the good old boys that wants to be the new sheriff in town. And you know what? That's not going to work for KDOT myself. Personally. Ginger says, I'm catching up and heard that you said it's a distraction. That is exactly what I thought when I saw this fake news over the weekend and wondered where your reporting was, because I figured you would be there. 100% Ginger. I mean, I reported on this probably a little after most people reported on, because I was literally confused like most people, right? I mean, this shit just isn't happening, right? So it took me a little while to get my druthers, as they say, and kind of attack this from a different angle than anybody else was attacking. By the way, we did see other independent journalists there chronicling this and saying the same thing. It's all horseshit. So it's not just us, not just me and KDOT. Lori, welcome. Nice to have you here. Pelo largo, no le importa. Thank you for being here, Sean Little. Thank you so much. Chicago's reporting it too. I wonder what their angle is. I don't know. Blue Unicorn says, remember when all those bikers took over the whole town of Steamboat? That was fun. There are houses going up in BFE or Arvada starting at $2 million there on Indiana. Yep, $2 million. Wow. Seems like conservative media is picking up on this to slander the left. I think so, Gimmickless. It's not... You know, I don't say that. You know how I am. I try to be as center as I can, but you know, it's just ridiculous. They are picking up on it like it's something like major that's going on in the cities. It feeds the narrative that the gangs are taking over all of the cities, right? I mean, it's simply untrue. It's just it's false information, and I wouldn't doubt that Donald Trump at some point picks up on this and runs with it too. Nobody seems to understand why the Venezuelans came here in the first place, because the USA totally ruined Venezuela and jackals and economic hitmen. Blue Unicorn, that's a fine point. That's a nuanced point that I should delve into at some point. It's too much for this live, though. But that is you know, that's true. Isn't Chamberlain former LAPD still sassy, says? 100%. He wasn't the chief of LAPD. Let me tell you what I know of Chamberlain. He applied to Chattanooga, Tennessee. They didn't want him. He applied to Cincinnati, Ohio. They didn't want him. There were like 3 or 4 other places off of the top of my head that he put in for, including Aurora, and nobody wanted him. And there was no community input, by the way, on the hiring of this chief. So that's a problem that KDOT and I already have with this chief, right? Like I said, we're going to give this guy a chance. We give every chief a chance. But I have a feeling it's not going to turn out well for the new chief. Kip LA, welcome. Nice to have you here, buddy. I really appreciate you, Kip. I love Kip LA, man. He's got a good channel too, man. You do a lot of good work on your channel. Kip, throw your link in there for everybody to sign up for, man. You know. Chief not it, Sean Little says. Yeah, he's. I don't think he's it, man. I think it's also to help with the immigration issue. Gimmickless says. Yeah, I mean, you know, probably gimmickless, but I think mostly it's just to add to the narrative. All we are saying is give Chief a chance. Well, we will, Blue Unicorn. We're fair. But I have a feeling I already know how this story is going to end, right? I don't want to bias myself and not give him a fair shot. We did it with Acevedo. We did it with Morris. Every chief. There have been how many chiefs? We did it with Wilson. Wilson should have stayed. They did a no confidence vote because she was getting rid of a lot of the corruption. Now, we had our issues with Wilson, but she was doing a lot of good things in that police force, and it cost her job, Big Chief 2024, I agree. Big Chief 2024 is a winning ticket. Thank you, Big Kip. Appreciate that. Make sure you guys sub up to Kip. Kip puts out a lot of low-key, awesome content, and love his channel. Happy to have him as one of my mods. So let's talk about what's going to go on forward here. I'm going to try to do a little more investigative reporting on this. Like I said, I need to follow the money. Anytime that there's I appreciate you, Kip, 100%. What's up, Fab Daddy? Good evening to you. I thought it said good morning there for a second. Yeah, I want to do a follow-up to this follow-up. But I thought it was really important because KDOT and I did take the time to go down there and interview people. Nobody wanted to be on camera for obvious reasons. You don't necessarily want to tout that you live in a $1,200 to $2,000 a month apartment building that's in shambles. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not something to be super proud of. Just look at the trash in the back. That I showed you. It's ridiculous. Logic dictates that former LAPD is no bueno. I agree with you, Still Sassy. I'm like I said, I don't know too much about this guy other than that I've been hearing rumblings of some nefarious shit. But I have to verify everything myself. I don't want to bring you guys any misinformation. That's not what I do. I always try to vet my sources. Am I always right? Not always, but I'm probably 95% accurate on everything that I tell you. And if it's part of the 5% that seems untrue, then I will come back and I will retract or tell you context or things of that nature. So, you're always going to get honesty with the MLH. That's one thing that I do. Thank you guys and gals for subbing up to Kip. He's awesome. He's also a great graphic artist. If you see my logo, that's Kip. Kip did my banner, which is outstanding. So yeah, I think for a reasonable rate, he can help anybody out with their graphical needs if you just ask him very nicely. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to be doing that. There's some I just put in a request right before I got here on somebody that KDOT ran up to, an officer that wasn't very nice. So we'll have her salary and information coming up for you guys. Like when I tell you guys that we really do put in the work, we really do put in the work. It's not just lip service, they've gotten so used to me at City Hall. Like the security guards don't mess with me, and KDOT. There's no bullshit when we get there. We just get to business and we get things done. Same thing at the police station. We've gotten. Not that I'm proud to get people in trouble, but I'm proud to expose corruption even at the smallest levels. So we've done that several times at the police station, including the ladies that take our requests at the police station. The city, the clerk's office is always super nice and always has been super nice to us, so I can't say anything bad about them. They always put in our request and are very helpful, give us information that we need. They're very helpful at the city clerk's office. One gentleman in particular, his name, I always call him Mr. Lopez. is the front desk rep there, and he's always on point with us. So no problems there. They always get us the information that we need. You know, pending a little bit of research and stuff. The truth seems to be in short supply these days, which is why we appreciate you, MLH. Still Sassy says, thank you. Appreciate that, Still Sassy. I try my best, and like I said, K-Dot and I always try to bring you guys the latest news out of this neck of the woods. And we will comment nationally on stuff, as well. So you can always look forward to honest reporting and honest opinion. We do have opinions. We're human after all. And, we separate opinion from fact at every turn, so there's never any worries there. It's not like CNBC and CNN that has all these opinion hit jobs on the the right, and vice versa, with Fox and all that, like Hannity and I don't know, what's her name, Maddow or whatever. Like, these people just go back and forth bashing the other side, and there's never any discussion. There's never any middle ground. It's always us versus them, and I hate that shit. It's the reason why I hate the two-party system in the United States. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I'd rather vote on somebody for their ideals and ideas than their political affiliation. I hate how we only have two parties in this country, and it sucks. What else do we got here? Not in fashion, that's for sure, Sean Little says. People can't be bothered with silly things like facts, 100%. 4 teenagers and a blunt is a gang, Fab Daddy says. I know, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Blue Unicorn says, opinion editorials are not news. It's entertainment for dumb people. I agree. Did you check out the disturbing illusion, Gimmickless says. Gimmickless, I've been, for reasons that I can't really divulge to you, I've been more busy than normal. So usually when I get, like just now, I got to the house and I did this live. If I didn't do this live, Gimmickless, I guarantee I would have laid down in my bed and I would have went to sleep if I didn't do this live. So I had to do this live for you guys, because I did follow up and I didn't want to forget the information and, just come back to you at a later date and just fuck up everything. So I wanted to get this off my chest and maybe in the meantime get some rest. I've been going nonstop literally for like 2 weeks with no days off. Like literal no days off with Bernie. Haven't had a chance to even, look, I get up in the morning and I go. You know what I mean? And by the time I get back home, it's like 10 o'clock at night. Not even time to watch a movie or anything. So it's just like, I haven't had time to play video games, which I love to do. I haven't had time to watch a movie, read a book. Not that I can read a book anymore because of my carbon monoxide poisoning, but I just literally haven't had any time to breathe. So that's why I haven't had time to, really do anything Gimmickless. But if you give me a second, I'll check it out. Disturbing Illusion. Is that the YouTube channel, Gimmickless? Kip LA, thank you for that. If you wouldn't mind subbing to Bernie, leave a comment on any one of her videos, even if it's just a waving hand or an emoji or something. That way the sub sticks. She's just over 200 subs. She does Hot Tub on Sunday nights, which is hilarious most times. It's adult karaoke, so if you don't mind laughing a time or two, make sure you sub there. Thank you very much, Kip. 4 teenagers and a blunt is an out-of-control grocery bill. Sean Littles. I got 4 teenagers and a microphone. Where it's at, Blue Unicorn. That's a reference to a song. That's awesome, Blue. Ginger says, Kip LA, brilliant art. Yes, he's a brilliant artist. He's awesome. Susan Everett, I'm late. You're never late, Susan. You're here. So that means you're not late. But you might want to go back and listen in 1.5 times and get even more information on the Venezuelan gang crisis that we have in Aurora. I'm being sarcastic. There's no There is no gang crisis in Aurora at all. Period. I don't even know why they have a gang unit. It's not running rampant. Are there gangs? Yes, there's a couple of gangs. They're loosely affiliated with other gangs. They do get into territorial bullshit wars. But where there's a crime, that's where the police should step in, right? I think we can all agree on that. But thank you for being here, Susan. I really appreciate it, and thank you for being a member. You and Ginger have the you can't hear that fast. You'd be surprised, Susan. You can do it. I thought I was going crazy at first too, but then my ears just got used to it, I guess. I was shaken down by a thug, Fab Daddy says. Oh, that sucks. But Susan and Ginger, thank you for being members for months now, at least 3, because that's what the 3-month icon is. It's actually the creature from the Black Lagoon. Yes, I'll check it out, Gimmickless. Give me a second after this live, and I will check it out for sure. Hopefully audio is not cutting out for others. Is audio cutting out? I think it's about time anyways, so I'm gonna end this. I'm gonna check out what Gimmickless has for me. All right, never mind, all good. Cool. Gave me canned goods after he saw I was piss poor. Fab Daddy, you're funny. Sean Little says nothing remarkably impactful, malicious, or otherwise is being spawned from that pubescent powwow. Yeah, I know. Really, think about it. 4 teenagers with the blunt. I mean, I can't think of a more chill thing to happen, right? A bunch of sedated teenagers. I don't know, man. I'm a big advocate for weed. If you guys didn't know that already, I'm super happy that Colorado was the first state to legalize. Should be legalized nationwide, but got a bunch of feckless politicians like Joe Biden and Donald Trump and a bunch of morons, overseeing our government. But that's another discussion for another day. Hey, listen, everybody. If you guys, these guys' mental health is probably in a wreck, right? All these people living in these complexes and all the media attention they're getting. If you guys are struggling with your own mental health, please reach out to somebody that you know, love, and trust. In lieu of that, my email is mexicanlonghair@gmail.com. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a counselor, but I do listen, and sometimes that helps. But if I don't get back to you in a timely fashion, just remember, somebody out there thinks you are their favorite. Hold on to that thought. It could save your life. There's also a national hotline, or a North American hotline, I should say, 988. Remember those 3 numbers, 988, and that'll get you connected with somebody that can help you out immediately. If you're too sheepish or you don't want to talk to somebody, you can message that number, 988, and that'll work as well. If you're not living in North America, i.e., what's her face? Hold on, I gotta go back in the chat here. What was her name? Bushfire Blonde. If you're living in Australia or any other part of the world other than North America, make sure you type in your browser of choice, mental health help, and that'll bring up a plethora of options for you. And just click on any one of those options and you'll get the help that you so sorely need. Make sure you talk to somebody before you do anything rash, right? Drinking is not the answer. Smoking a bunch of weed is not the answer. Doing hard drugs is not the answer. But listening to somebody that understands and talking to somebody that understands is probably the right way to go. All right? Hold on to all that. We really need you here. I need you here. And just understand that, the world is not always awful. There are some good things that happen. All right? All right, take care, everybody. Have a great day. I'm glad you guys were all here to hear this. I will probably do one more video on this or one more live at this on this at some point when I get more information. Till then, I will see you guys on my next video, which, let's go over the schedule real quick. I think tomorrow I will probably do a cop watch. Thursday, I try to take off, even though I haven't had a day off in forever. Fridays is my other show that I've been doing for 17 years on YouTube. It's a video game show called RP Grinders. First half is dedicated to video game news. Second half is dedicated to comedy and politics and pop culture and movies and all kinds of stuff. Would love to see you guys there. It's on YouTube and Twitch, twitch.tv/rpgrinders. That's where the main chat is. Saturdays, I do the MLH comment show, so make sure you drop a comment in any of my videos. I'll give you a shout out on the comment show on Saturdays. Sometimes I do a call-in show at night on Saturdays. I mean, I haven't done it for the past couple weeks, but I'm going to try to do one this Saturday, although I'm trying to reclaim a little bit of time for me and Bernie. Sundays is Bernie's show on Bernie's channel, Hot Tub Time Machine, sexy lyrics. So make sure you check that out if you want to have a laugh or two. Definitely adult-oriented, so thank you guys for checking that out. All right, everybody, have a great night. I'll see you guys on the flip side.